Well, guys, if you predicted the New York Yankees to disappoint heavily in game one, round one, and Jake, I don't even know what round we're in with the Jays because I know this season series is about cooked. Really bad start here. 7-1 Jays. In my opinion, just being honest, this was a nothing burger performance. You guys heard the storyline. The Yankees got into town at 6 in the morning, whatever it was, and Cam Schlittler and Heel, they got there early. We didn't care. I don't care. We talked about that weeks ago. We were talking about the Boston days off. We're not having any of it. The biggest problem was the way this game started, and it was Cam Schlittler, right? Cam Schlittler actually, Jake, brought to life my fear from last night, and I didn't want this to happen. I was excited, as you could tell on screen. I was excited to see what the start would look like. And the Jays don't swing and miss. I wanted to know what the rookie would do to respond to a team that's going to swing for contact. They're going to put the ball in play. How's that going to look? Well, 40 pitches in the first inning, roughly, right? The start was ruined right then. Right then, we knew, well, our bullpen is really hanging on by a thread this year, despite all the moves we made. And we know he's not going length at that point. Well, thankfully, Ryan Yarbrough was there to pick up the mess, at least give us some innings and not ruin the entire day. Jazz Chisholm goes out for a pop-up, and this ball wasn't his fault because he was called off by none other than our captain at his base position of right field. Yeah, he was back in right field today. Calls off Jazz and forgets the fundamentals of the game. Anytime an outfielder calls for the ball, it's now your ball by definition. There's no questions asked. The infielder, it's no longer judgment. You get out of his way, especially a 6'7", 280-pound man. You get out the way. The ball, Jake, falls untouched. That's just not knowing basic defensive assignments. This is September baseball. I get it. Guys could be tired. Guys got in late last night. In September baseball, when Toronto of all teams comes to town, all of those things need to be in order. Should never be a problem, and yet they are. Very disappointing. Jake, the only bit of good news here is that Boston is currently down 6-1 in Arizona. Nobody cares about that because the Yankees currently just walked off into game one and just slept all night. They just completely sleptwalked at Yankee Stadium, and really disappointing. I don't know any other way to even describe this. And technically, Jake, and you helped remind me of this, and mind you, that definitely didn't walk me anywhere further from the cliff, but technically, as you put it, there's 2 more games to be played. Technically, this isn't a wash yet. You're going to be at the game tomorrow, so you're still bought into the whole thing that this could happen, but man, the Yankees sort of, we almost gave us the appetizer to this series all week. And then you get here and they just wet the sheets offensively, on the mound, defensively. Everything was horrible. What did you take from this series so far? And where's your head at going into game 2?
Yeah, really frustrating. I think a lot of the things that, a lot of the concerns that you had came true in this one. One of the biggest ones, though, I think that we didn't really touch on, and something I kept thinking of when we logged off last night, and I think I was talking to you about this off air, is that Cam Schlittler has already seen Toronto. So, like, the allure of Cam Schlittler, well, that's kind of gone because Toronto's already seen him. They know what he is. They know how he works and everything. And yes, he's become a better pitcher since the last time they faced him. But I do think that had something to do with today. I do. And yeah, I just really, really frustrating game. Ryan Yarbrough was sensational to come back from his injury. Hasn't pitched in months, and he gives him 5 1/3 out of the pen like that. Only gives up 3 hits. I mean, if you had started him, who knows what happens with this game. But no, all jokes aside, and obviously Schlittler had a bad game. He's allowed to have a bad game. We knew this one was coming. We just weren't sure when it was coming, right? There's no way Schlittler was going to have perfect, performances every single time, get better every single time. He was going to have a down game. Everybody does. This was not the time for it, though. This hurt a lot, but it wasn't just Schlittler. You had 4 hits. I mean, this is the 4th time this year that the opposing pitcher went 8 innings against the New York Yankees this year. 8 innings.
It was complete domination. And mind you, you mentioned the fact that Schlittler's been seen by Toronto. I didn't really care about that, even if I had known it. It honestly wouldn't have been anything I cared about, just for the simple fact of that. It's not like this is Sudoku, where you just get figured out, oh, we've seen him before, and you still got to hit, right? We've seen Kevin Gausman about 1,000,000 times. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many times we've covered a start with Kevin Gausman. How many times have we done it? 1,000,000 times. And
all the time.
Before the game, we were talking about how many players we have on our roster currently. And we have a ton of vets, ton of them. Grisham, Goldschmidt, Judge, all these guys. Bellinger, they've seen Gausman 1,000 times each. And obviously I'm exaggerating, but there's nothing Kevin Gausman's going to do that they haven't seen before. And he pitched a great game. But I'll tell you what, the one thing about pitching and hitting is that it's a duel. Just because someone's pitching well, you can still make adjustments. I actually didn't mind how Cam Schlittler was throwing the ball, especially early. But you know one thing about what Toronto's going to do is they don't care how well you pitch. We're going to put the ball in play, and we're going to force you to field your position. You're not going to be economical with your pitch count. You're going to your bullpen. And if you don't like that bullpen, you're in trouble. That's one thing the Yankees have learned playing this team, is that the days of 10, 15 pitches to get through an inning, no. 0-2, no, you saw the at-bats from Kirk today. You saw Bichette. A lot of 0-2 counts, and what was the Yankees broadcast covering? They're saying, well, it seems like when he gets 0-2, now he's trying to be perfect. No, he wasn't trying to be perfect. He's trying to throw pitches exactly where he was throwing them before, and normally, against other teams, those are swing and misses. Not against Toronto, they're not. They're not. And so that's what I wanted to see. Are you going to be able to make that adjustment? Now, I don't want to be overly critical of him, but again, when you're in a situation, a lot of people before this start would have said, oh, Cam Schlittler would be my game 3 guy. Okay, well, if you find a way to get out of the wild card and you run into a team like this, do you have the ability to make the adjustment and win these type of games? The Yankees haven't shown they could so far, Jake. They just haven't. And anytime a team says, we're not striking out, you're going to go to your bullpen in the 5th or 6th inning, the Yankees so far just aren't winning those games.
Yeah, and the offense just, I mean, it's the whole bipolar nature. That, you know, on one hand, they can drop 20 runs. On the other, they can have 3 hits. You know, it's really frustrating. David L. with the super chat, appreciate you. Exactly why I was worried about Cam's start. Toronto disciplined hitters. Sad, new game over. Jays plated 3 in the first. Another game where Yank travel and opponents has day off before. Yeah, which I think is frustrating, but you know it's coming. You already know it. You got to find a way to prepare. And to be fair, and I'll give the Yankees credit, they sent their starting pitcher home early because they were aware of this. Obviously, you can't send your whole lineup because you needed to win that game against, you know, the Houston Astros. But yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating they lost this game, but it's frustrating just the performance. It's not even about the loss, really. It's more so the performance to come out this flat. And it very well could have something to do with the travel. I'm not saying it didn't. That's why I'm not giving up on them in this series, but I was pretty confident in this team. The way they looked and everything, like I thought that they were going to sweep the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays haven't looked that great, but now all of a sudden, Blue Jays look really good, Yankees look really bad, and we'll see. You know, I think that's just the reality of it. We don't know what's going to happen. Tomorrow, Heel's on the mound. I'll be there. I'll post my my fit on the community tab, so if anybody wants to try and find me at the stadium, it makes it a little bit easier. I'll wear something that maybe stands out. But yeah, I just, I don't know. I think really tomorrow with Luis Heel, this is probably one of the bigger starts of the season for him. This is honestly one of those starts after Schlittler kind of schlit the bed, you know. I would probably say if Luis Heel comes out and he pitches well, he could be ahead of him in that kind of circle of trust. Like, Luis Heel has to get back to where he was, and he has to know by now. He's auditioning. They're all auditioning for their role in the postseason. Unless you are Rodon, unless you are Fried, you are auditioning for a role. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of how I look at that. But as far as today, pathetic offense. We could talk about the pitching all we want, but 4 hits is just unacceptable. And I know Gosman is good. He's not that good.
Yeah, Jake. Okay. I just think in general, what's really happening with the Yankees, if we just have to diagnose it, the Yankees are still, from now to the end of the season, I believe there's 21 games left in the year. They're going to win a game where you're like, oh, I didn't think we would have won that game, but we did. Okay? That doesn't mean anything. What matters is who you are the majority of time against the teams that you say we have to beat. Who are you then? I think Toronto, and I said at the beginning of the year, I don't think they're a great team, but I think they're a good enough roster. They have enough talent where they're not going to let you get away with a poor approach. I think that's really all it is. Toronto's just a team that's close enough. I don't think they have as much talent as we have, but their approach is just far superior. Superior in every way. If we go down 0-2, we're not trying to go down 0-2, but if your pitcher does a good job and gets ahead, and I thought Cam Schlittler did a nice job of that to start this game, struck out the first 2 hitters of the game. If the Yankees struck out their first 2 hitters, what's the third doing? He's striking out, and they're going to try again the next inning. That's how they do their business, and you saw it today. Giancarlo Stanton's a home run. That was it. That was the only offense you saw all day. There was no adjustment to be made. Toronto lives off of adjustments. They can't survive without making adjustments. The Yankees, on the other hand, go out there with Cam Schlittler, who's honestly one of my favorite arms on this roster, comes out there, and I thought he had great stuff. He was sitting 100 miles an hour. He had a really good cutter today, and you wouldn't know that just by looking at the box score. Toronto just simply made adjustments. They were fouling off well-located 100-mile-an-hour fastballs up, in, away, and forcing him to throw breaking balls, and he started doing so early in the count and falling behind. That's what you do to good pitching. Cam Schlittler's a good pitcher. I don't care what the results were today. When you have a better approach than your opponent, you're going to beat them almost every time. And that's why when we face Toronto and we face Boston, 2 rosters that I respect a ton. I know losing Roman Anthony is just devastating to Boston's roster, but they're talented enough to where your approach is going to come to the surface. Against these other teams, and thankfully it didn't materialize in the Houston series because I thought we played really well in Houston, thought we should have swept. But Jake, when we get into the American League East, these are some pretty good teams. Toronto deserves a ton of respect, and when you walk in and they come to Yankee Stadium, you're not just going to sit at the plate and try to slug 3 or 4 homers. That can't be the way. It's not how you're going to beat Toronto. You're going to have to find a way to manufacture some runs. Are you going to hit homers? Sure. We hit one today. It can't be all you're doing. You can't be waiting on Grisham to hit a ball upper deck. That's not an offense. As good of a year as he's having, it's not.
No, and I mean, I think the turning point in this game, because the Yankees showed some fight, or a little bit later on, Jazz Chisholm, that at bat was everything. 2 guys on, 1 out, and you just can't have that, And then Goldschmidt as well. Goldschmidt had some great numbers. I went to bat for him today to play, despite the fact he was a righty on the field, because he had fantastic numbers against a guy who pitched 8 of the 9 innings. He was not good. Not good.
Oh,
and
by the way, you sent me you sent this to me before we went live.
Yeah.
And it was the update. Do you have that in front of you, by the way?
I do.
Of what Aaron Boone said. Because, guys, we saw the throw from Aaron Judge. And, again, Aaron Judge is back in right field. Good news. Now, we have no idea. We're not going to sit here and speculate on Yankees Unloaded of the health of Aaron Judge. We don't know. We're going to listen to what they tell us. And then, obviously, when he gets out there, we're going to look at how he looks. Is he performing? Is he throwing the ball what looks like 100%? And Jake, we saw a ball out to the outfield today. He threw the ball like his arm was about to be amputated.
Yeah, not good. So Chris Kirshner, at Chris Kirshner on Twitter. My full exchange with Boone about Judge not making the throw home in the first inning. In the first inning, on the Lucas single, Judge got the ball before Varsho touched third base. Is he not able to make that throw? What happened there? Boone said he just got to it and he scored. Chris rebuttals with, so is he not able to make that throw? Which I love, by the way. Boone says he's in position to make the throw. Chris does not like that. He says, so why didn't he? Boone says, we're handling it how we handle it, okay? Again, do I really care about the pressers? You know, I don't. I don't like the way Aaron Boone tends to, like, have this, like, edge. You don't get an edge. You haven't won anything. You have not won anything to have an edge. And, you know, it'd be one thing if, like, Alex Cora, who's won it before, right? Somebody goes up to Alex Cora and presses him on a situation, right? Baseball. Just baseball. Why didn't you do this? And Alex Cora still came off like a total dick, but, you know, he said it in a certain way, and it's like, okay, well, he's won something. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I don't. No, I don't. I'll tell you right now, if I was the Yankees manager today, they hired me, and 3 years down the road, I've won 3 championships, and a reporter his only reason he's making a living is to do this, to ask questions and write stuff down and report. It's his job. It's no bigger than that. It's no smaller. It's exactly that. If someone came up to me and said, hey, Gary, I know everyone knows you pretty much squeezed Judge out there. We know he's not 100%. We're not stupid. Now, when we ask you the basic question, which Chris did, hey, he clearly could have made a throw there and didn't. What's going on? All you have to do, instead of sounding like a pompous asshole, all you have to do is just lie and say, yeah, we think Judge is healthy enough. We thought, the throw looked a little weird, but he should be good to go. A simple lie, and you don't have to be an ass at all. Just lie.
I'm not advocating to be an ass. I'm saying if you are an ass, you better have a way of backing it up. It's like if Gordon Ramsay ran his mouth, but like wasn't good as a chef. It's like, who the hell are you coming in my kitchen? You know?
I just think even if you're winning, I don't care if I'm questioning Joe Torre. I don't care if I'm asking the question to Connie Mack. I don't care how much success you've had. If you don't want to give me the answer, which is fine, you don't have to be as transparent with the fans. If you don't want to do that, just lie straight to our face and do it with some type of dignity and class. Essentially what you did in that moment was just say, hey, Chris, let me do my job and stay out of it. He could have just said that, which is exactly what he was really saying, which is that, hey, we're going to do what we do regardless of you asking this question or not. That's really what he was saying. And there's no other way to accept that, that's not uncharacteristic from Aaron Boone. Just lie. We all know that there's not one person in our comment section today, and we've got over 500 people in here. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Not one person, Jake, thinks Aaron Judge is 100% and the throwing program was just through the roof. He's 100%. He can throw lasers to third tomorrow. Everyone in here, including the two of us, know Judge is not 100% at all. He's out there because they perceive we need Judge and Stanton in the lineup at the same time. That's the only reason he's out there in a must-win series. It's common sense. So having said this, he could just give us some roundabout answer with some type of thought. Otherwise, skip the interview. Don't do it. So I didn't get it at all. It's disgusting. If you're going to insult us, then at least come up with a lie that you've thought about through, before you came out here. I didn't like it at all. And I like the question because, again, something we brought up, Jake, is that our New York media, we're not tough enough. We're not. You might have some fans who are like, when are we going to win? It's not good enough to go to the World Series. That part may be tough, but the coverage certainly isn't tough. It's not. No one's questioning anybody. No one's pressing anybody. So credit to Chris Kirschner for pressing Aaron Boone. He deserves it.
Yeah, he's been doing it too. So I think he's gotten the message. Not everybody else has. I mean, there's some good ones out there. Don't get me wrong, but yeah,
not many.
Sivia with the 2. Pathetic offense, pathetic bullpen. I want to defend the bullpen here. The offense was absolutely downright dog water, but the bullpen goes 7 1/3, gives up what, 6 hits?
It was Yarborough who was
3
good.
earned runs and strikes out 5. That's a pretty good. I mean, that's more than a quality start.
No, I think what this is getting at, and I agree with what you're saying because you're technically right. The reason the bullpen looked good today was because of Ryan Yarborough. Thankfully, he was here.
Yeah.
Ryan Yarborough was great. You give us 5 1/3 of 1-run baseball. I know earlier you kind of mentioned, oh man, if he started, maybe this could have gone a different way. Who knows? But when Leiter Jr. comes out there and gives up runs, right? Doval goes out there and gives up runs and also walks another guy. That's just par for the course for what they've been doing. So I think that's part of the reason why that chat came out. But Yarborough really, he was the one pulling his rope today.
Interesting. Apex is saying, I prefer Yarby to start game 3 and no rookies. I'll say we need to temper our expectations, but we also need to be realistic here when it comes to Schlittler. He had a bad game. I'm not nullifying everything he's done at this point. I would still start Schlittler game 3.
I would
as
agree
it stands
with you
right now.
Yeah, my biggest problem today actually wasn't Schlittler at all. And I know, and B. Rice in the chat, who's a member of ours, thank you, says Leiter stinks. And mentioning this game was over after an inning and 2/3. That's technically true. The biggest problem, and I thought the most disappointing thing that happened today, was our offensive approach. That was the most devastating thing I saw all day, was how we looked at the plate. Jake, I felt like if I wasn't a podcaster for this team, I would have turned this game off in the third. The third inning, I would have just gone
really
about
felt
my day.
over in the first.
Yeah.
You know, the Yankees have these games where, because the Yankees, they come back a lot. They don't always complete the comeback, though. And that's the thing. This felt like one of those games, like, if they do come back, they're not going to win. You can see it. It's pretty easy. You'll know by the 4th inning if the Yankees are winning a game or not.
I knew this game was over when it was 4-0.
Yeah,
again,
4-0, the Yankees just don't win games like that.
No, we don't win games like that. And because you know what a lot of times happens is when you come back, your bullpen still needs to be great.
Yeah.
And our bullpen's not good. So there you have it.
Well, like, so let's say that, Stanton hits the home run instead of the 2nd inning. He hits it in the 1st inning, right? Then they score. They don't score 4 runs, but they score. Then they score more runs later on in the game. That's a game the Yankees are still in because they started off with Stanton, right? When Stanton hits the home run, it's 4-1. It's not 1-1. It's not 1-0. It's a completely different feel. And I feel like the
broadcast
Yankees
said, what they call it again? The Yankees. It was nice that the Yankees got on the board. It's nice that you don't look up and see a donut. I was like, not really.
That's what the Pirates fans say about their team when they score. So, like, congrats. You're in the Pirates.
We're on the board.
Zone. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the offense was what bothered me. And again, they're going to use, I would assume the Yankees are going to say we're not going to use the days off as an excuse. They didn't show up ready to play at all. They didn't.
No, they were not good. Scott Ross, we appreciate you. Schlitt, less of a concern. Agree. Toronto's pitching has been lit up for 3 weeks, and our prolific offense lays down like that. Also judged 258, 1347 since June 1st. I don't know what 1347 is. That home runs?
It's probably
RBIs?
homers and ribbies, maybe.
Interesting.
I've never seen it written down like that. So obviously, Scott, if you could clarify. But
yeah,
Aaron Judge
doesn't work.
He hasn't been great. But again, when you look up and you see 1 run, you see 4 hits. That goes deeper than Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is the captain, and he also has to take some responsibility of getting these guys ready. But he's also not their mom and dad.
Yeah.
You guys have to show up ready to play. Chisholm, 0 for 3. Goldschmidt, 0 for 3. McMahon, 0 for 2. Caballero, 0 for 3. Rice was 0 for 4. Totally useless at bats. No one made a single adjustment. We walked twice today. Twice. It's not an approach that you can even ask for any type of comeback. It wasn't a contest at all. This was a nothing burger performance, top to bottom. Schlittler was okay at the beginning. The Jays immediately respond with an approach, a change through approach. Okay, you're going to go elevated fastball to put us away. He was trying to put him away with velocity. That's not working against Toronto. He tried to throw in a wrinkle of a sinker. That didn't work. You saw Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit about 140 out to Cody Bellinger in left field. It's not going to work. You have to be able to find a way to effectively, and this is much easier said than done, pitch to contact. That's why, and I've always said this, Jake, and we talked about this in the offseason, is this where baseball's going to go? Where everyone else is married to the homer, and a team that you would say they have good talent, not great. And that's exactly where I have Toronto, because people always get up in arms, especially when they're Jays fans. They're like, wait a minute, you don't think we're great? No, I said you're not great, you're really good. Really good teams in terms of talent, if they have the correct approach, which is contact and base running and pitching, you can beat some teams that are better than you on paper if they don't have the correct approach. And I think that's what's going on here. Toronto's approach is just massively better than ours. And it's actually, I know it was frustrating to watch. The Yankees should be learning from this, but I just know they're not, Jake. The Yankees should be looking at this and saying, is there something to the fact that you can't put Springer away, right? Is there something to the fact that when you see Kirk come up to the plate where he can have a 12, 13, 14 pitch at bat, why can't any of our players do that? Should we maybe lean into that approach at some point here in the future? And I just know, Jake, they're not. They're genuinely not learning a thing from this because personnel-wise, they never bring in players that are willing to do that. It's interesting.
No, it is interesting. I don't want to go too much into it because I feel like this past series, they were doing a little bit more of that, kind of clutch hitting, timely hitting, knocking in runs. So I have seen they were a win today from having the second most wins since the All-Star break. So I do want to give them credit. I think during that time, they've definitely changed their approach to a degree. They're still very home run reliant, no doubt about that.
And you don't think that
they're not playing, the Blue Jays. They're definitely not the Blue Jays.
Right, because that's what people want to know.
To your point, by the way, I can give you a perfect example. It's your Philadelphia Eagles. While everybody was saying you don't pay a running back, you don't pay a running back, you don't pay a running back, the Eagles get their running back. And now all of a sudden the run game is back. Everybody cares about running the football again. It's been a pass-happy league for the last decade. And now everybody's trying to run the football again.
Everyone will tell you, let's just go draft a running back in the 4th round. We'll take receivers at the top because it's a passing league. And then, Philly gets the running back. It works out.
And the reason I bring that up is because sports, you go through cycles. So, like with baseball, there's going to be a cycle where they focus on velo. There's going to be a cycle where they focus on craft. The cycles are no different than what's in and what's not. What's trending and what's not trending. What's a fad and what's a classic, right? And I feel like the more, I watch sports, I notice these trends. Basketball. It's like before Steph Curry was the 3-point shot as prolific, as important as it is now. No, right? And so, like rim protection, old school center play used to be everything in the league. And now it's not everything. As a matter of fact, there are teams like the Lakers that are playing in a playoff game without a center for the majority of it. They're running small ball lineups with wings.
Yep, and they just commit to the fact that 3 is more than 2. We'll shoot maybe a lower percentage than you.
Yeah.
And that's the way the Jays look at this baseball game. You may hit a bunch of homers. You wouldn't come to watch the Toronto Blue Jays and be like, bring your glove. They're going to be spraying balls all over into the seats. you don't look up and say, oh, wow, they've got 4 or 5 guys that are going to hit 30 home runs. You know who's got that? The Yankees. And there are a lot of people still on Twitter who are saying, well, the Yankees, you look up and you've got Judge who's going to hit 30 plus homers, right? You've got Rice who's going to be creeping up there. Grisham hit 30 plus homers. Bellinger's getting close. Stanton, in his amount of at-bats, he would be blowing away 30 homers. Jazz Chisholm, same deal. And yet, when you look at the offenses, if you're like, whose offense would you rather have? Is it Toronto's, which feels more like the run game, or is it the Yankees, which feels like air raid offense? We're going to throw the ball down the field all game and hope.
No risk it, no biscuit.
As you put it, no risk it, no biscuit. We're going to throw the ball downfield all game. And anytime you play a dude in Madden and all they do is throw the fly, it never works. It doesn't. So you got to have some
the same guy
wrinkle.
that goes for it on 4th down, and no matter how far. Oh, yeah, 4th and 22. I'm just going to go for it.
I'm going to throw the fly. And so the Yankees, I think this works against a lot of the league, and this super chat encapsulates it perfectly. HS, thank you for the 5. We really appreciate your investment in the Yankees Unloaded. And again, guys, almost 600 people in here. Please make sure to support the channel. Please like this video. Helps us out a ton, more than it should. I don't know why they make us do this. But HS says 4-17 versus, my goodness, versus the Sox and Jays. 74-46 versus the rest of the league. Now, Jake, this is where I pose you a question. If I told you when the season starts, the Yankees obviously thought, based on what Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone were saying, is that we're title contenders. If you told them at the beginning of the season, regardless of what else is going on, you see that record on the right? We're going to wash that. We're going to hide it. If you told Boone and Cashman, you're going to go 4-17 versus the Sox and the Jays, what would they say? Do you think, what would you say about your team if you were 4-17?
They would say that's unacceptable.
They would say that is ridiculously unacceptable. There's no way to sugarcoat that. Embarrassing. As good as Toronto is, as well coached as they are, as good of a young talent as Roman Anthony is and how much impact he had in the last series, all of that aside, Boston has owned you. Toronto has owned you. On the road, at home, didn't matter.
I just thought this was hilarious. I had to put this up.
Oh, appreciate it, Welkin. They would say we had some great at-bats. And there's, in all jokes aside, you would have to look at those numbers and say, that right there is an indication that there's a trend happening and we're ignoring it for some reason. Why are we ignoring it? I don't know. And again, Jake, you're right. Technically, you are 100% on the money. Tomorrow, there's a game. Another early game. And the day after that, another early game. We hate to see that.
Take care of business. Put up or shut
and
up.
If they don't win both games, well, now it's no longer it's right around the corner and we still have time. You essentially went an entire season just getting dominated by Toronto and Boston. You guys aren't serious. It's not serious, I promise.
At that point, you're just praying that you don't see them in the playoffs, but you're more than likely going to see them in the playoffs. So it's I want to present this to you. Okay.
Okay.
So there's 74-46 against the rest of the league.
Yep.
Have the Red Sox and Blue Jays adapted to Yankees baseball? Have they taken... I'll do another analogy here. The Super Bowl in 2018, Super Bowl 53. Sean McVay's offense couldn't be stopped. They ran into Week 15. They ran into Vic Fangio. You know very well. Defense coordinator for the Eagles.
Yep.
Vic Fangio's defense with the Bears. And they held them to 6 points. Now, no one thought anything of it. Just a bad night, right? Wrong. Bill Belichick studied the hell out of that game.
Yep.
So Belichick had 2 game plans. You get 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. He had 1 game plan. He knows they can win with it. The second game plan was the one he scrapped everything. Went with the second game plan, the one with Vic Fangio. He saw what worked. He shut down a great offense. So what I am presenting, because guess what? After that, it became really tough. And Sean McVay had to change his offense because now everyone had figured out his offense just from watching the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? The Yankees were just in the World Series against the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers really exposed the Yankees kind of cutting corners. Oh, yeah, that error sucks. It is what it is, right? We'll find a way to win. And they did. They found a way to beat Kansas City, despite the lack of fundamentals and the errors. They found a way to beat the Cleveland Guardians. They found a way to beat teams. They actually found a way to beat the Orioles and steal the division, because I think people forget, but it wasn't that long ago, the Baltimore Orioles were in first place in the AL East. So they stole that division. They came back and they stole it. Here's what I'm throwing at you. Are we watching just smart Red Sox, Blue Jays, staffers, players? They watched the World Series. They took notes, mental or on paper, who knows? And they're just applying it now.
What did the Dodgers say, Jake? What did they say they had to do and the Yankees would give the game away? Do you remember what the game plan was?
Put it in play.
Put the baseball in play. Hey guys, anyone in the chat, if you're listening, what do the Toronto Blue Jays do more than any other team in baseball? Put batting average aside. Put walks aside. Put all the plate discipline. They put the ball in play. Game.
Yeah.
Every time the ball's put in play, game. Game's over. The Yankees will not win that game. The way we know that is that record that you saw. Do you know the record when they say, 74 and 46 versus everybody else? You know what everyone else is doing in the rest of the league? Swinging and missing. They're swinging and missing.
How about this?
And those teams that beat us and we're 4 and 17, those teams routinely practice. Same thing with the Dodgers. The Dodgers are not in on that record. Dodgers, same deal. They put the ball in play more often than not. And if you add the Dodgers into that record, we're like 4 and 21. It's bad. It's really gross.
Do we focus too much on like team stats? I feel like we do. And not us, but just in general.
In what way would you say?
Well, I want to bring something to your attention that you already know, but now I'm going to refresh your memory. So last year, do you remember who led the league in runs?
I believe it was the Arizona Diamondbacks.
It was 886. So like way more than the Yankees at 815. They were in third. Yep. And more than the Dodgers, 842. Now, I understand 2 of the top 3 teams went to the World Series. The 4th team was the Orioles, by the way, who got eliminated early on. The Brewers were 6th, right? But the reason I bring this up is, the Yankees are absolutely dominating in home runs this year. Dominating.
Yep.
And they led the MLB in home runs last year. Not as much, right? They led by, I think, 3 with the Dodgers. Oh, this year they're leading everyone by 36. Dodgers 36. They're by 41 on the Mariners. Funny to see the Mariners. They're 3rd in home runs.
It's wild.
Angels are 4th. What does that tell you, though?
It goes to show you hitting a home run, technically, takes away any execution that needs to happen. You still have to hit a home run. So we can't act like hitting a home run is hitting off a tee. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just something that's more easy to do against bad pitching, right? You hit home runs off mistakes. The Yankees are waiting for mistakes, and when they get them, they hit home runs. But sometimes you run into a Kevin Gausman today, which he wasn't making mistakes, and they have no variation, no wrinkle, no adjustment to be made. They've never made one the whole year. Never. They have never made one the entire season, right? And you see in the last series, you see Valdez throwing pitches literally right down the middle, and we hit home runs. You still have to tip your cap. There are a lot of players in this league, when they get pitches down the middle, they foul that off. They're not doing any type of damage. We deserve credit for having done those things. But what you see is when you look at Toronto today, you would assume that Cam Schlittler showed up and just laid an egg. That's not the case. It's not. That's the beauty in these type of approaches. That's the beauty in what Arizona did when you mentioned they got to the World Series in 23 and faced Texas. They essentially showed up and said, what style are you guys committed to? Oh, you're waiting to hit the 3-run home run. Okay, well, we're obviously going to go bring in some relievers, bring in some great pitching. We've got Gallen, Merrill Kelly. We've got this whole crew of guys, and we're going to try and stave that off. And they did. But you know what was a lot more difficult to stop in the postseason? Corbin Carroll just simply reaching first base on a single, right? beating a shift. They would beat a shift, and now suddenly they've got a guy on first base who can run. Totally different styles. And I can't sit up here on this podcast and act like, oh no, that style is just way more effective than the boomer bust home run style. All I'm telling you is that one team dominates that stat in terms of homers this year, and that is the Yankees. And another team in Toronto who doesn't walks in here and is a better offense, objectively speaking, against you guys. So when people, and I saw it in the live chat, people said, well, those stats are overrated. Team stats, overrated. I think in large part, this comes back to what your dad was saying, Jake, is that the Yankees can't find ways to score when option number one isn't working. Can they throw you a wrinkle? Can they say, all right, we're not going to go down that path, but we're going to kick it down this way? They haven't shown that. And, you know, I'm interested to see these next two games because it puts such a strain on our starting pitching, and they obviously deserve it, but I don't want to just pile the dirt on them yet. We're going to be able to say in hindsight, by the time the season's over, hey guys, look, we gave you to the final buzzer. It didn't work. This whole approach that you guys are doing doesn't work. You need a revamp here. You need more Cody Bellingers. You need less guys who are going to hit 32 homers and hit 231. You need more contact. And we'll see what they do with that information. But again, I don't want to pile dirt on them yet, Jake. I will do that later because I have a pretty good indication of what's going to happen, but I just don't have the official numbers to back it yet.
Yeah, I would say the most eye-popping numbers for the team stats, Blue Jays lead the league. Average batting average is 270, which is insane.
They lead the league with a 270 batting average?
They lead the league with 270.
And I believe the average hitter in baseball hits, what, 240?
Yeah. The Yankees have a 251. Brewers have a 259. That's second. So Toronto's way ahead of everybody else. They're 11 points up on the Brewers. Interestingly enough,
wow.
Strikeouts. Number one is Kansas City. Number two by one. They're behind Kansas City by one, Blue Jays. 949 strikeouts. The Yankees are in last. Well, no, they're in 25th, so fifth to last. And the Yankees actually lead the league in walks, believe it or not. They have 45 more walks than
Oh, that
the
makes
Dodgers.
perfect sense. Isn't that? That's exactly what I would have thought. The Yankees offense is we're either, and we're going to have good at bats. Let's not act like the Yankees don't have good at bats. They do. The problem is they don't have an ability to get themselves out of holes. If they get themselves in hitters counts, they do damage. Because what are you most likely to get in a 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 count? You're more likely to get a fastball or a hanging breaking ball, a get me over pitch, and they do damage. You got to give them credit for that, right? We've talked all day about what Trent Grisham's done this year. He doesn't swing at pitches outside the zone, and when he gets pitches middle, he does damage. And having a career year, but hitting a ton of home runs and walking a ton is valuable. It's not the most valuable thing. The most valuable thing you can do is team baseball, which may not get you at the top of these rankings. It may just look like solid batting averages and having to look at context of, yeah, we brought in good arms and they were able to make adjustments. Well, who makes the most adjustments in Major League Baseball? The contact hitters. Every time.
Yeah.
It's the contact players every single time without question.
Speaking of which, Toronto leads the league in hits. 1,291. Next up, Milwaukee, 1,240. You know,
That sounds
Milwaukee
fun.
is the best team in the league right now. They've only hit 152 home runs.
And they're by far the best team. Not even
Yeah,
close.
it's not even close.
Nope.
Like, if anybody was like, you know, trying to get into baseball and they're asking me what team to watch, if I want like a all-around game, not like just home runs that's like super
Right.
fun, but just all around, it's Milwaukee every time. Their brand of baseball. I hope they win the NL. They deserve it. They really do. They've absolutely dominated the whole year. And it started off rough. Rough enough that we thought Freddie Peralta was going to be a possibility at one point.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, we did say Milwaukee's going to be good. We dominate Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
We dominate Milwaukee. Nestor Cortez was already hurt over there. He's obviously since been traded to San Diego. But at the time, I was like, well, hold your horses. You guys are playing Milwaukee. Well, I haven't heard anyone say that now. I don't see it. Right? So, yeah, David L with 3. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Says Baboon, I can't wait for the voicemails, has Belichick's attitude without pedigree. Oh, there's that word pedigree. It's probably going to go right back into my vocab. So appreciate that, David.
There we are.
Yeah,
We're so
I would say
back.
Aaron Boone definitely. He's got an edge to him, and not in the complimentary way. He just has just something about him, and I know him to be a good dude, but there's just no room for just the way he handles the media. I don't get it. I just don't. If you want to lie to us, you can just lie to us, and we're not allowed really. If you want to be allowed access, you don't really have the option to press him that hard. So once someone's lied to you, you pretty much just have to accept it and write it down, and then the fans get to say that's a lie, but you don't get to go much further than that. So David, we appreciate that. And Brian, who should be in the Hall of Fame of our supers, always the best. Thank you for the 5. Says, another game of getting our heads kicked in by a mid team. I do disagree. They're not a mid team. They're definitely better than us.
Oh,
Boone's
yeah.
voice makes my brain itch. He's the biggest dickhead manager in baseball. Any thoughts, Jake?
That's crazy.
No, Brian's the best.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, Brian. So, yeah, I definitely not a mid team. I think the Yankees are more talented. I've said it all year, and I think the Blue Jays. I almost said the Blues. What are we? St. Louis Blues, NHL.
No, we have the Blues.
Yeah, no, the Blue Jays. They are not more talented than the Yankees, but they're way better managed. And I honestly, I hope people see the job that Schneider's doing and they give him his credit. This is really impressive because, yes, part of it is having the players that are willing to play within this type of style, this approach. But you also have to build the culture, and I feel like he's built that. And
I love this chat. Do you see the chat I'm seeing right now? So, Brian, again, thank you. Don't mean to kick you off the screen, but man, this chat is so good from our live. X-Wing class says the Jays are good at baseball. The Yankees are good at home runs. And I don't want to just take away from what the Yankees have just done. They beat a bunch of bad teams, but then also, to a lot of people in here, surprise, they went into Houston and they held their own. They did. They probably should have swept them. The umpiring crew was horrible. They took 2 of 3. If I told you guys we were going to take 2 of 3, you would have told us that
with bad umpires.
Right. So once you do that, then now that should mean something. But then they went back to Yankee Stadium, and their first entree was what? How would you describe that? It was a no-show. And this isn't the time for a no-show because also when you no-showed against these teams, the first half of the year. So really you no-showed in the first half and in the second half. So yeah, very interesting. I would agree with that chat completely. We are a good home run hitting team. That's who we are.
Yep. HS, thank you for the 2. McMahon walk followed by 3 outs on 3 pitches. Yeah, don't remind me. Good Lord.
That was crazy, huh? It's wild. And you saw it actually at the beginning of the game as well. I watched, you saw the at-bats from Bichette, right? And he went down 0-2 right away. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, he's not going to swing and miss. He will chase down. So that's where you should be going. And we start going high, right? High fastballs. Eventually he throws some pretty good curveballs. And he's spoiling these pitches. I'm like, wow, this is doing a really nice job. And they worked him for about 30 pitches that inning. The following inning, we swing first pitch and fly out to center field. I'm like, oh, is it going to go out? Nope. Okay. That's how the Yankees play baseball, and the other team is playing. I mean, my God, is that a different style? It's not even similar. It looks like a different game. It does.
So this super chat, or this member chat, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Please explain Judge's meek throw. Has anyone heard of Queens of the Stone Age before? A song no one knows. That's how I would describe it. No one knows. You've never heard of Queens of the Stone Age?
No, I don't listen to this genre at all.
Yeah, I know, but you know, like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, but Red Hot Chili Peppers, they'll pass out. Like if you're in Vegas, you'll be walking down the street and some random guy will hand you a card and it says, "Go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're in town." Like that. That's how I know about them.
Yeah, but you know, yes,
And I do know
Marion knows Dave Grohl. Let's go. Yeah, Queens of the Stone Age. Dun, 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 dun. Have you ever? You've played Guitar Hero. It was on Guitar Hero. No one knows.
Yeah, I don't know the songs on it.
That's a bummer.
But
Well,
to
anyway.
explain Aaron Judge's throw, Aaron Judge is not 100%. If they even insisted that he was, it would just be ridiculous. He's healthy enough, I would presume, where they don't think they're going to do long-term damage as long as he doesn't let it go in right field. And I think that's probably what's been instructed. He lobbed the ball into the infield on a play where there could have been a throw. And that's what drew the question from Chris Kirshner. And we didn't get an answer.
I'm going to press them on that, though.
What are you going to press?
Well, because you told us, oh, yeah, he's not ready, he's making progress, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then they put him out today and get everybody's hopes up, and then he's actually a liability today. If he wasn't ready today, just put Stanton out there.
It means you don't get the opportunity, because they're essentially saying, well, we need Judge, we need Stanton in the lineup in today's game. We have to win this series. We need to. We have to at least take 2 of 3. That's true. The problem is, if in order to do that, you have to put a physically compromised player, and that player just so happens to be the best player in the American League, you're making a mistake.
Yeah.
You are. That's a mistake. And I see it from Virtual in the comment section saying that he wouldn't put Judge in right field again. Right? He would just be simply, you're going to DH. And I'm not going to sit up here and say what I would do. All I know is if Aaron Judge can't throw the baseball, he's not in right field. I don't care what Jason Dominguez looks like out there. I don't care what Giancarlo Stanton looks like out there. It doesn't look as bad as a player who physically doesn't even want to throw the ball into the infield. That's crazy. That's not baseball.
Yeah, and our favorite resident friendly neighborhood Marlins fan, Marion,
welcome in
with the 10. One of Jazz's best assets on the Marlins was speed. Him trying to swing for the fences eliminates that and increases Ks. No idea why he stopped hitting for average when he went to New York. He's about kind of the same player in that sense. I think he just, he has more power. I mean, the stats kind of show that. And to be fair to Jazz, he does have a lot of stolen bases as well. I think he had a lot last year too.
Honestly, I think his batting average actually might be, as a unit, like as far as last year when he got here via trade, and you combine it with this year, I actually think Jazz is even a better contact hitter than he was in Miami because nobody was going to tell him anything.
He was.
But having said that, if you're looking, Marion, when we were talking earlier about Toronto's approach, where they might go down 0-2, but I'll just slap a single the other way, and we're going to be an annoying unit to your pitcher. Not about individual stats. I'm going to slap a ball the other way. I may not hit 30 homers this year. I might hit 17, but I'm a tougher at bat. Jazz has the potential to be that player, but he's never going to do that. Never.
Jazz wants 30 home runs so bad. You can see it every time he goes to the plate. He can smell 30. And
yes.
That's not the way to operate, but yeah, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. He wants a 30-30 season so bad.
Well, you saw it. You've seen it also, and I don't know if anyone's paying attention to this, but Juan Soto is going to steal 30-plus bases this year. And so I think when players steal bases and they hit a lot of home runs and you look up and say, oh, you've driven in 70. Anthony Volpe, driven in 70, right? And you say these numbers, people perceive it as, 30-30, right? And all this stuff. He can field his position. He's a great individual player. And so if we get enough of those great individual players, we have a great offense.
Yeah.
Wrong. No. That's how
they view it.
That's how they view it. You don't. That's why when you turn on the game I promise you guys, Google's free. You can go on Google, you can go on MLB.com and you can go click Kirk, Springer, right? You can click Vladdy Jr. You can click their numbers. I promise you're not going to look up and see 40-40. You're not. You're not going to see any of those numbers. And yet, when you watch the unit, you're just going to feel like there's a more cohesive thing happening. And you can't really explain it. All you know is when there's a guy on second base and 2 outs, I know which team you'd rather have at the plate. And this goes back to what your dad said, Jake. The Yankees struggle to score runs in situations where they have to make adjustments. Those players aren't making adjustments once there's guys on base. They're already in the adjustment the second they walk into the batter's box, no matter the situation. So, yeah, Marion, I get the frustration. I understand that you want a more well-rounded player in Jazz, but I promise you, Jazz already thinks he's a well-rounded player because he's going to hit a lot of homers and steal a lot of bases. I promise.
Yeah, I wanted to point out, someone put it in the comments section, but
Okay.
the Red Sox did officially lose. So the Yankees are ahead of the Red Sox. They're 4 games back. Red Sox are 4.5. I don't know if you've noticed in the wild card, and obviously I don't want the wild card. I want the AL East. But it's going to be hard for either the Red Sox or Yankees to miss the playoffs. It's so bad. The Marlins, or not the Marlins. Sorry, Marion, not trying to take any unnecessary shots there.
Yeah, the Marions. The Marlins are dead.
Yeah,
but the third spot is like significantly behind us. So
the
it's ridiculous.
Mariners, 5 games back. They lost again. They've lost 4 straight. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Guess who's right knocking on the door now? The Texas Rangers.
In Texas.
They're
Texas
half a game back.
Oh, Michael K would be pretty proud to see the Texas Rangers have a plus 91 run differential.
I knew that was coming.
Did you see
Oh,
it? By
man.
far.
Yeah. The Orioles
by
are
far
still in
leading
this
the
thing.
division. So it
They're-
tells you the run differential. I do think home run hitting teams are probably disproportionately impacting their run differential. I think in some of those games where they win, they have a higher opportunity to win games, say 10-1 against a team's 5-starter, but they're also more likely to essentially give you a donut against a team's ace. So
The Mets just totally,
Interesting.
or not the Mets. I keep saying teams that I'm not trying to talk about. I don't understand what's going on over here.
who are we going with?
The Twins. That if you want to know how to sabotage your team, there you go. The Twins should be investigated for tanking. That was like insane.
They were
like-
literally floating around 500 around the break.
exactly.
And they are 17 games back. This isn't
Dude.
Twins Unloaded. That's insane. That's insane.
Chicago, I'm not kidding you when I say this. Chicago is 8 games away from them in the win column.
There's a lot of bad baseball being played, and I know the Giants are playing some better baseball, but I don't think people realize when they say, are the Yankees a great team? Guys, take a look around.
I know.
The Los Angeles Dodgers
Diamondbacks
were
are
just
still in this thing.
swept by Milwaukee. They were swept by Pittsburgh. And they lost again today. They lost 4 straight games. San Diego, remember the team that they went on and got Mason Miller, right? They've got all this talent. They've lost 5 in a row. 5.
They've won 2 of their last 10.
It's horrible baseball, just all around.
I'm rooting
Seattle's
for
lost
the
4 in a row,
Giants.
as you mentioned. Minnesota, I mean, they lost 5. They suck.
I want the
But
Giants to knock the Mets out.
I honestly feel, though, taking a look at just how things are panning out, I just think what the Yankees have built, it seems, is that they've built a system where they can beat the others. And I think they've done a pretty nice job of beating the others. Have they beat up on the bad teams as much as maybe we wanted them to? No. But you also, Jake, put together a hypothetical of what could happen these next 20 games or so, 21 games. And you were like, oh, they could possibly finish around 93 wins. And you'd be like, oh, that's a pretty good year. Well, yeah. But what if you're a 93-win team and you're like 0-40 against the good teams? Well, what it really means, and the way you put it, Jake, I thought you worded it beautifully. You said, oh, we'll just light a candle and pray that we don't see Boston, or we light a candle and pray that we don't see Toronto. Well, guess who we're going to see? in October. We're going to see those teams, probably multiple teams that just have dominated us all year. And the Yankees want you guys to believe that it's just poor timing. That every time Toronto comes to town, they just don't play well. And then when Toronto leaves town or Boston leaves town, suddenly the Yankees just turn it on. They want you all to believe that. And so it's sad. Luis with the 2 says Yankees just swing early and don't work counts. That I disagree with. I don't think the Yankees fail to work counts. We draw the most walks in baseball. The problem is that the Yankees don't know when to do less. Remember the 70% swing that Jazz was talking about? Every single time Jazz does something successful, it's by doing less. It's not trying to hit home runs. That ball he hit I think it was a week ago, Jake. That ball he hit the other way down the left field line, it was maybe 3 or 4 days ago, was the best hit I saw of him all year. I know everyone's excited about the balls in the upper deck. I'm not. I want to see wrinkles to this offense. I love that swing. Loved it. Saw the same thing from Austin Wells that same day, and we were raving about it on this podcast. We wanted to talk about it. And yet, when you see like super chats like this and people say, oh, we just don't work counts, that's not true. We just don't make adjustments. We are simply trying to walk or hit home runs. And that is how we score. So when you play these teams that are trying to, hey, keep the ball in the strike zone, make them put the ball in play, it's tough for us to score runs. And that's actually been our Achilles heel is our offense in big games. Our offense has let us down throughout the years.
No, you're absolutely right. And I feel like, obviously appreciate Lewis with the super chat.
Yeah.
I feel like the Yankees, we've been saying home run or strikeout. They're really home run, walk, or strikeout. I think that's been the issue. Obviously, you have guys. Like, you have a Cody Bellinger that is trying to put the ball in play. Mm-hmm. The good news for the Yankees, we'll see how long it takes them. I texted you about this, I think, early this morning. I couldn't believe it. Dax Kilby. The hit tool, the contact, the bat-to-ball contact, I wish there were more guys on this team that cared as much as he does at just putting the ball in play. Because, not to put another guy down to bring another guy up, but Roderick Arias is in the same same team.
Kilby?
As Kilby. 18.
Yeah. So he won't be ready for 3 years. This is like the disgusting part of Yankees baseball. Mm-hmm. Is that it just sort of feels like we're in a reoccurring dream where we
How
show
did they
up.
Not trade Roderick, by the way.
We don't. Well, I can tell you,
I've been telling you for years.
Value.
I was not high on him.
Well, yes, but it's the same thing, right? With Peraza for a while, they didn't want to do it until once they do it. Okay, well, too late. But I guess the gist of it is, at what point are you guys going to prioritize bringing players in here who fit? Do you know the teams who constantly are looking they're just looking and saying, hey, look at the future. You guys, you wouldn't believe what we got here going on in the future. You know the teams that really want to do that? That's the teams that are not doing their business in the present. They're just not. There's no reason to get overly excited about what's going to happen. Kilby won't be here for 3 seasons.
If he's even here. But it's cool to see. It's cool to monitor. It was just more so a perfect time, I thought, to bring it up because that's what they're lacking. They're lacking that bat-to-ball contact. And big reason, if your shortstop isn't a contact hitter, it kind of puts you in a bad spot. Your shortstop's supposed to be that Well, yeah, but,
everyone should be able to hit for contact. That's the one thing I wanted to bring up with you before we get to the super chat.
Yeah.
Is that if you judge the Yankees and you judge the Blue Jays, right? And you say who's a better player at each position, right? And certainly the Jays edge out the Yankees in certain positions, no questions asked. However, I think the Yankees tend to look at players in a vacuum rather than how it looks as a cohesive unit. They don't look at how does my 1 through 4 hitters, how do they gel? How do they intertwine? How do they help each other, right? For example, Johnny Damon, right? Derek Jeter, they're table setters. If they didn't have a ridiculous 3 or 4 hitter or 5 hitter, a Hideki Matsui, a Gary Sheffield, and Alex Rodriguez behind them, they're not as effective. Do you know why? Because they're table setting. What are you setting the table for if there's no dinner? There's no reason.
True.
It's a pointless venture.
No, that's
so you know
a good
what they
point.
would have done? They would have tried to look at Derek Jeter and say, well, he can't. Could Derek Jeter have hit 30 home runs? Nope. Derek Jeter can hit 300 every year, but the value in hitting 300 is diminished if the guys behind you can't do anything. So what Toronto's done with their team and what Boston's done with their team, we're going to try and hit for more contact, and that player may not stack up well positionally 1v1 with our opponent, but our unit is so much stronger with the approach, we're going to beat them. And what you were mentioning earlier about Arizona, that's what Arizona bought into. We're going to go Corbin Carroll, right? We're going to go contact and expect to beat big sexy names because they're trying to hit homers and we're trying to have hitters set up the next guy and then the next guy. And it's tend to really work out for some of these teams. And honestly, all you can do is tip your cap to organizations like the Blue Jays who are doing this the right way. Organizations like Milwaukee, it's no wonder, Jake, when you bring up some of those team stats, batting average, putting the balls in play, not just walks and homers, some of those other old school numbers, it's not a surprise that some of the teams that win World Series, they actually win when it matters. All those numbers they told us didn't matter for the past 8 to 10 years. They just so happen to actually mean a damn. And I wonder why we got away from that. I really wonder, because I know the velocity in baseball, it's hard to string together hits. We get that, but it's even harder to hit home runs against great pitching that's throwing 100. It's difficult.
No, that's true. And it feels like when you're, well, that's the problem. When you're getting your ass handed to you by a pitcher like Gosman tonight, and you could just see there's really no adjustment. They're just at this point, and the league keeps getting worse, and now they're like, oh, well, now I have to swing for the fences, right? Because it's like I understand it and I don't. Because you see guys on base and you're like, oh, well, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 runs right there. That would help us out, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you but at the same time, it's like unrealized profit in stocks. Until you sell that stock, you don't have that money. And until you actually send the runners home, you knock them in, you don't have those runs. So to just assume you can go up there and put 3 runs on the board with 1 swing, is it possible? Yes. What's the likelihood of it? Not likely.
Not likely. And that's why people look at our offense in big games and say, what's the likelihood that we come through in these clutch situations? And you look at Toronto, I wanted to bring up a number for you before we get to the super here. They were 5 for 9. They hit over 500 with runners in scoring position.
You can't even hate them. You can't hate them. They're just really good at what they do. And yeah, I mean, it's really that. Jose, we do appreciate the super question for both of you, or for you both. Do we need an epic failure to change this organization? Yankees Unload members need to be hired as baseball consultants.
We appreciate that.
We're getting there. What is it? Mr. Beast bought the NFL or whatever. You saw that?
Oh my God. Did I hate that? And I don't even really overly dislike Mr. Beast, but my goodness, they're like, welcome to the NFL, and we're going to introduce with Mr. Beast. And I get it. They're trying to lean into the whole YouTube thing, but man, that was dumb.
Yeah, but none of those people are even content creators for football. So
nothing. They don't know anything about football.
That is not, you had the right idea, poor execution, but the point being is totally making a joke. We're getting closer to the little guy. Very, very slowly but surely. Yeah, I mean, my thing is, what is an epic failure for the Yankees? I mean, having $300 million as payroll, to me, not making the playoffs is an epic failure. I think losing early in the playoffs is an epic failure. Coming off a World Series last year, this team is arguably more talented. It just, yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think there's going to be change unless like they lose in the first round of the playoffs, because they're not missing the playoffs. But if they lose in the first round, they lose in the wild card, I think Aaron Boone could get fired. But Brian Cashman's going nowhere. So we've talked about this today. I mean, let's be honest here. If Boone walked out the door or was pushed out the door, I mean, how much really changes? Because I'm not saying that you can't go out there and hire a really good manager. But my concern, and I have been thinking this, and obviously this isn't to keep Boone, but it is to remind people, if you don't get rid of Cashman and Hal doesn't sell the team, the guy who goes there is likely going to be a carbon copy of Boone. A guy that's willing to listen to Mike Fishman in the analytical department.
Who hired Joe Girardi?
Who hired Joe Girardi?
Yes.
Wasn't it George?
Hey, everyone in the chat, can you tell me who hired Joe Girardi? I would really like to know.
Do you know?
No.
Oh, well, damn, dude. I thought you were giving me some trivia. I'll look it up.
No trivia. So
who hired Joe
Josh
Girardi?
Says Cashman. Okay. Now, Cash. Okay. So this is the answer I would have given, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a know-it-all. I like to plenty. We have a lot of people in here. Plenty of people who know more.
It was Brian Cashman.
Brian Cashman is the answer. So thank you, Scott Ross. Appreciate it.
He's
Apex,
been poisoned though by today's analytics. That's the issue.
Right, but here's the thing: if they let's just say everyone in our comment section's right, and part of what I'm saying ends up being right. The Yankees' approach of we're gonna hit more home runs than you, right? What Minnesota did in 2018 broke the record. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. You break a home run record. You guys are good home run hitters. That's a good thing. We shouldn't just crap on that. But it's not the way to where you guys claim you want to go. It's not the path. You need to revise that approach. Well, if you're talking about Aaron Boone being fired and then now Cashman's responsible for hiring the next guy and we don't trust him to hire the next guy because we think it's just going to be another Aaron Boone, well, Brian Cashman hired Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi couldn't be further from what Aaron Boone is at all. True. You mentioned it. I'm glad you did bring it up because there's a lot of revisionist history. People make it seem like Girardi was a perfect manager in hindsight and how much better it was. He was better than Aaron Boone, no question.
Without a doubt.
But there's no question he was better. But if I can trust Brian Cashman and he can at least once make a decision that actually I like right now, I'd take Girardi tomorrow. If I had the option, I would take Joe Girardi as our manager before I would take Aaron Boone. Now, having said that, that's why I keep the faith. And again, I've put responsibility on Cashman a ton. He has a lot to do with why things the way they are, why we're so analytical, why we've married the homer. There's a reason our roster looks like this. You tend to, whatever's at the top, whatever the head of it, the snake is, it just trickles on down. It does. And so I'll put some level, not a ton, some faith that if Aaron Boone was gone and they figure out, this waiting on Jazz or Grisham or Judge or Stanton to just hit the solo or 2-3 run home run, hit the big grand slam, if that's the way we're going to score runs, then we need to bring somebody else in here. If they figure that out, I'll put some level of faith that they're not just going to bring in some analytical nerd to implement that. Because even Cash, like from Tampa, right, and like even bringing him in, was he really married to the home run? I didn't perceive that. And so he was heavily analytical, and yet he wasn't married to the home run ball. So I think I have more faith in other managers to force the Yankees to play a different brand of baseball than I do at all of Aaron Boone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess again we'll see how they recover tomorrow. Tomorrow is a new day, but I do agree with that. Jersey Girl, thank you for the 5. WTF was up with Judge not calling off Jazz on the fly ball. That dropped between the two of them. Dude is making millions. Catch the damn ball. I hated that play so much.
That was Judge's fault.
Yeah.
It was Judge's fault. The ball, if the rule is, if the infielders camped, there's no reason to call them off. Let them take the baseball. You see that all the time, especially in a 162-game season. You guys watch it all day long. However, if both the infielder and the outfielder are both converging and the outfielder can get to the ball and get underneath the baseball without leaving his feet, you call for the baseball, the infielder's no longer a part of that play. You don't exist. And that is why Jazz stopped. Aaron Judge, you can see his mouth moving. He called for that baseball and then decided at the last second, wait a minute, Jazz, I think might be set up. No. Once you make noise and say, this is my ball, you think Jazz Chisholm's going to go up and catch that baseball? What would we all be saying right now if Jazz Chisholm ran into 99 and we didn't see him for a season? What would we be saying about him then? He knows that. He knows to get out of the way, and that's exactly what Jazz did. That was on Aaron Judge.
Yeah, and Tanner, appreciate the Canadian dollars there. Gosman unloaded the clip today. I saw your update, so I figured I would do you a solid there. Unloaded the clip today. Go Jays, go. So we appreciate the super from a Blue Jays fan. Yeah, he looked really good today. I can't even say anything to that, unfortunately. But tomorrow's a new day.
You don't always have to have a rebuttal. Sometimes that's the beauty in sports. You go out and you punch someone in the mouth. There's a boxing match. You knock somebody out. There's not anything you can say after that. The only thing you can do is throw a punch tomorrow. That's what this is. And if you don't throw a punch, I'm sorry to tell you guys, if you don't like Toronto, you don't like Boston, well, they get to go in October and say, well, we're your daddy. And you guys can go beat up Colorado next week. And good for you. We'll see you in the wild card, and you won't beat us.
Well,
that's what it is.
You said boxing, so I'm going to bring this up real quick. Did you see Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather?
I talked to my wife about this. I don't understand how people need this is all over money. And I obviously know Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather are going to get a fat check for that. Nobody wants to see some 64-year-old man box Floyd Mayweather. Stupid. I hope no one we're going to run a Yankees Unloaded video that day. We don't care if it's the middle of January. I'm running a live just to occupy your guys' time so you don't go watch that nonsense.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I didn't mind watching Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. I really didn't mind that.
Oh, God.
But no. I mean, I hadn't seen him in a while, and he's my favorite boxer. But the point being is...
You can just watch The Hangover.
The point being is, though, when that, the dust settled and everything, it's over. I saw him. I don't need to see it again. He's past his prime. Yeah, he can deliver some good shots here and there. But that's it. That is absolutely, I don't need to see it. I'm so tired of these, dude. Boxing is so sad because the sport is so good. And it used to be premier. And now it's not.
Oh, the funny part about that whole fight, though, remember when Tyson's butt came out?
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing ever.
My God. My mom just...
That was the best thing ever.
I'm watching it with my folks, and my mom just goes, "Oh, put that away."
It was so funny.
Yep.
I mean, he just looked like some random. I mean, obviously he's still ripped, but he just looked like some yoked grandpa.
Yeah.
In the locker, it was so bad.
Oh man.
But yeah, Tanner, obviously, congrats on the win. You guys deserve it, and that's just the way it goes. Toronto punched us in the teeth in Toronto. And now here they are at Yankee Stadium. Jake will be there. Michael McDonald also will be there. That's all exciting. Right.
Yeah.
Michael McDonald with the 2 says, I'm no longer excited to attend tomorrow's game.
But I'll be there.
Yeah. Jake will be there. We'll just have to see.
I'm going to try.
Win, temperament will be different in here, but only in a win. If this is a loss, I'm showing up in a black tux. Just know that.
Oh my God, Alex! Speaking of Tyson's butt, where is Cheeks? Cheeks one day just up and left us. I don't know.
I'm not sure where Cheeks. Not sure where they are. I did see Virtual is back with us. My mom was actually wondering. That's how funny our audience is. Is that
I know.
You really do. Like when you think of Yankees Unloaded,
these people
you just
have lives, and it's just like, oh, it's weird. didn't see him today. It's like, yeah, he just didn't feel like watching, our show in that moment. And we go live. Like, what's so, all right.
Yes, he is, Mom. Virtual is back in here. I saw him earlier.
Real quick pat on the back for you guys. We are not the easiest to follow. And what I mean by that is Gary and I don't even know ourselves when we're going to go live. We wait until the game, and then we're about 30 minutes after the game, but sometimes things get in the way. The fact that the same people always show up, support, comment, super chat, become members, and we don't have a set schedule like it's like a Sports Center show.
Or like
or whatever.
Benihana. I don't know if you've ever been to Benihana. But you go sit down there, you may get your food in 45 minutes. It may be 3 hours, and they're just flipping food around. Have you been to Benihana?
No, that does not sound like fun.
It isn't. The food's good, but more times than not, you go with family and you've a couple of youngsters in the group, and they're like, "Oh wow, they're flipping shrimp." It's fun for them, and it's fun to watch them have fun. But
Gary, I don't care if I'm getting fed Kobe lobster. I'm not sitting there spending 3 hours waiting. That's
certainly respectable. It's respectable. And yeah, welcome. We really appreciate you being here. Michael, thank you for the super. Try to enjoy the game. Go get a chicken bucket. Go spend $90 on food. Enjoy the company. Maybe you'll go see Jake. That'd be fun. But
man, do I get a chicken bucket? Do I get a chicken? I don't know. Probably not.
Nah. No, what you should do is get the Wagyu burger. I didn't get that last time.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Get the Wagyu burger. I think that's the play.
As long as they don't just like douse it with sauce. I swear to God, if I'm trying to eat this thing and it makes me look like I'm a little kid.
No, you can probably ask for it without it. I would assume if I'm paying $30 for a burger, they probably let you do it. And Donald with the 5, Donald, we really appreciate that. Thank you. Says maybe out of line. It won't be. But does Judge act like a captain? Love the person and the player, but does he elevate the team to be better? I'm going to say this about Aaron Judge. I actually don't mind him as a captain. I know it's really easy to get upset at whoever the leader is, whoever's responsible as the leader, when it's just not going good. I get it. I completely understand. The one thing I'm going to say about Aaron Judge, he struggled in October. We all know that. We all remember it. Aaron Judge's style of play doesn't really play well in big games. He has big hits. You've mentioned them, Jake. I've mentioned them. The Class A homer opposite field. It's not like the homer he hit against Crochet at Fenway. So it's not like he's just a zero in the clutch. But Aaron Judge is more of the head of the snake to the style that we play. I'm going to walk a ton. I'm going to hit a ton of home runs. And that's who I am. Well, when you walk more than anyone in the league and you hit more home runs than anyone in the league, you're probably going to be known as the best player in the game. And that's what he is. And all the rest of the players with varying levels of talent, all the way from Ben Rice all the way down to Caballero, I'll leave Caballero out of it, but McMahon, they're all trying to do the same thing. They're trying to walk or hit a home run. And it almost gets really frustrating watching Judge because you sort of know it's not like he's standing out from the rest of this nonsense that's going on. He is married right with it. So that's the interesting part, Jake. It feels like he's almost the head of the snake of this approach that we don't like.
It's interesting. I'm going to say this. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all. I guess I just don't really care about captains because, see, like in the NFL, you see the C. In hockey, you see the C, you see the 2 A's because the assistant captains. There's 3 in hockey. There's up to 7 on an NFL team. I actually feel like it's really at this point, like just whatever. Like they called Derek Jeter the captain. Mm-hmm. Unpopular opinion, you got 26 guys on a roster. I actually think there should be multiple captains, and I think there should be something to signify that. I would actually like a patch on the jersey. You put some stupid star insurance patch. Why can't you put a captain patch? To me, and I'm not talking about Jason Varitek with like the C that looks out of place.
For example, Stanton doesn't get one. He hasn't gotten one. And to your point, if Stanton is considered, and when they ask them, hey, who's the leader of the team? They're like, oh, Judgy, Stanton. They'll name multiple players, and yet one guy's got a C on his chest. And we understand the tradition, and we're not trying to change it.
Yeah.
But
I need like
in 2004, was Derek Jeter flipping chairs over and be like, no, you need to do your job? No, Derek Jeter was sitting in his locker minding his business. He wasn't telling anyone what they should be doing. No, not one player. And so... he wasn't putting his arm around A-Rod. He wasn't putting his arm around my dad. And, hey, I think you should. No. None of that was not zero of it was happening. And I think that when things go well, right, and you get to the championship series, people are like, oh, the captain, that's him leading the ship. It's a little overblown. It is. That's why I'm with you, Jake, here. I'm not looking into Judge as like, oh, he's the reason why he can't steer the ship the right direction. No, he's just kind of in the mix.
So question for you, would you be down for the captain patch on like actually not a C but like a nice one like the NFL has?
For multiple players or just one?
I'll say multiple. Doesn't have to be 7 like the NFL, but like 3 or 4.
I understand where you're coming from. I wouldn't do it just for the sake of tradition. I'm big on tradition. I hear exactly what you're saying. You're right. Because the problem with it, if you name one player captain and you're not winning championships, really all you're doing is saying, hey, you know how the economy sucks? Well, he's the president of that. It just gives you like a commissioner to point at. And I think that's where the position Judge is in right now, is he is really just considered the captain. And he's a great, like, I think he's a really good leader. The team is just highly flawed. Flawed manager, right? Is he going to fix the manager himself? No. What's he going to do? Have an exorcism? He's not going to fix the GM. It wasn't Aaron Judge's call to go get Ryan McMahon. And Ryan McMahon had a 3-hit day the other day, so a nice day, but he wasn't his decision. He didn't choose to go get Doval, right? And all these different players. There's so many variables here, and Aaron Judge isn't just he's not solely responsible. So I want to get him off of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, I technically, I mean, I would put the patch on and then get rid of the ads. 'Cause I mean, the ads are terrible.
Yeah, unfortunately, I would love, you know what I would like? Is there a way that we can find out how much money they make from that patch? I would assume we can't. They should be forced to tell us exactly how much money they make for every single thing they advertise to us. If they're going to, maybe the stuff around the stadium, I don't need it. But if Yankees jerseys are going to slap on some ugly Nike logo on a Yankees jersey on pinstripes, well, you better tell me how much they paid for that. If you're going to tell me, oh yeah, we threw this game on Apple, go ahead and put a little logo of how much money they paid you for that. I don't want to see any logos or patches at all. The only patch I want to see is that World Series patch on the sleeve. That is the coolest thing ever to me. Love it.
Yeah, I believe, was it Star Insurance was founded in China? I
have no idea.
Well, no, I mean, it was. And it's like, you're the New York Yankees, right? I'm not saying I don't drink soda, but like, how do you not have like a Coca-Cola or something for that, right? Like something that's like an American brand,
a staple here. Yeah,
you know, like like again,
you wouldn't go to Japan and see the Giants all of a sudden come out and be like, oh, Skittles. What? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, and it feels a little gimmicky seeing patches, and it feels monetized, overly monetized. So I would like us to get back to our roots there. I would leave the captain thing alone. I just think Judge right now he's being blamed. He's also not playing well in the most important time of the year. He is banged up a little bit. I'm not absolving him. I'm not. So I guess we'll see. There's a lot going on wrong, right? Our shortstop
BC came out of nowhere. Normally does. BC is always like, go Rams. This time BC,
the most random.
Jake doesn't drink soda. It's like just probably just popped in and was like, what? Yeah, I don't drink soda. I don't.
Apex says it's Judge's fault if he can't win a ring.
Well,
never shows up. He hasn't shown up yet. That is true.
You will look like a NASCAR.
We're hoping Aaron Judge is in his 2008 Alex Rodriguez mode. That's what we're hoping. We're hoping that it just turns on. But the one thing that A-Rod had going into the 09 postseason, he had a unit of players that were prepared to play. He had table setters, guys who weren't trying to hit home runs, setting the table, and you see the big home run that he hit in that Minnesota series to really propel everything that happened after it. Well, Aaron Judge also needs that. That has to happen, but as Apex mentions, if he doesn't come through in October at any point between now and the end of his career, yeah, that'll be how he's covered. It'll be covered that he's responsible for that. No doubt.
Yep. All right, let's get to voicemails.
Let's do it.
And let's see.
My mom says soda sucks. She used to drink 10 Diet Cokes a day.
So she knows. There we go. All right.
Hey everyone, just calling in before the game starts and giving you my prediction.
Oh boy.
I have the Yankees winning 7-5 tonight, and I think somewhere in there there's going to be a walk and a homer for 2 of our runs.
There was a
Other
homer.
than that, let's see how it plays out. I love our man Cam on the mound, and doing a little reading on him, he had some of the same qualities in college that he's carrying forth here in the major leagues, and that's confidence, painting corners, and being a workhorse. So happy to see him throw a strong game tonight, and I'm sure we would have never got him in the 7th round had he been throwing 98 miles an hour when the draft popped up. So we're fortunate, and we got
True.
him. We do have to see Yarborough tonight. Hopefully he gets in, because he's had a couple opportunities with 5-run leads to come in, but hasn't. And I think we'll see Duvall. And my biggest fear is Williams closing tonight, which I think he will be the designated closer.
Oh.
If we're in that position, which we will be. Go Yankees.
My
This
heart
is
just
awesome.
started.
Go.
That was awesome. So
that-
Schlittler, he was
Yeah.
excited for Schlittler. I was excited for Schlittler. That's bold to leave a voicemail before the game, because you don't know how it's going to go.
I want
He
more
was
of this.
He was
I like the
exactly
before the
right
game
on Duvall.
voicemails.
He was exactly right on Yarborough. The problem was Schlittler wasn't good. Duvall wasn't good. He was scared of Williams. There's the good news, guy. You didn't see Devin Williams, so
At all.
I hope you sleep well tonight. I will as well. I didn't want to see Devin Williams, and that was probably the time to actually see him. Was when we're down 7-1, 6-1, perfect time.
I mean, we got a Ninja hot dog signature at the end, Fire Baboon. And maybe guys' signatures. Guys just going to do a prediction before every game. I'd be down for that.
I would love that.
I will say, the reason why I put my head down is because it reminded me of my friend who left a voicemail. It was the 53, Super Bowl 53, like I was talking about earlier. The Rams lost to the Patriots. And he left a voicemail. I never got to it, right? Like, never noticed it, whatever. Never got the alert. So, like, a week goes by. I was not over this loss. It was like, yeah, I think the Rams are going to win. And, like, he starts going off on, like, a tangent. It was like, yeah, this is why. And he's breaking it all down. And I'm like,
Isn't it sad when you just don't know the future because you feel so stupid? There
Oh,
were a
yeah.
lot of people. Obviously, William Wallace was one of them. He's like, we're getting swept, right? But he did say that in the Houston series as well. But you win some, you lose some, and that's the situation he's in right now. However, when you look at these series and you're like, all right, we're not competitive, really sucks. And I do, by the way, Jake, I see people in the comments throwing Volpe's name around.
no, we're not. We're not acknowledging him tonight. You know that. You know the whole.
We're forced to because Apex has got a super.
Oh
It
my
says,
God!
Boone,
Why would you do this?
Apex, well done. Thank you for the 2. It says Boone
Thank
uses
you,
this as
Apex.
an excuse to bring Volpe back. Yeah, he's going to be the Energizer Bunny to.
Oh my!
To bring it back.
God. Dude. No. If I could have a mark safe from Anthony Volpe, I would have. Like,
What do
today.
you all think about that? Right, Caballero, and keep
He
in
didn't
mind,
look
I
good
don't.
today. I mean,
Caballero didn't look good. What would you do tomorrow? Would Anthony Volpe be back out there and it's just a tryout again, or do you just roll Caballero back out there?
no, Caballero's lost his job. He's not. They're not going to go to him again.
Anthony Volpe is playing tomorrow. An absolute
It's a foregone conclusion.
And I also know for a fact Judge will be DHing tomorrow. Stanton, I'm going to guess Stanton is in right field.
I'm going to say Stanton is out of the lineup.
Okay. I mean, that's the only other choice.
Because I'll
He's
be
not
there.
catching.
I'll be there. So I, of course, want to see Stanton hit his 20th home run.
Oh, so Nestor Cortez is going to pitch.
No, they're actually going to... I can't believe I almost said this, but I'm still going to say it. They're actually going to red eye, express delivery, Marcus Stroman. They're just like, yeah, I don't know. Luis Hill wasn't ready to go, so we got Marcus Stroman off his flight. He never landed, so we just told him to turn tail and come back, and he did.
I'd rather forfeit tomorrow than have Marcus Stroman ever grace pinstripes again. I'm not kidding you. I'd rather quit.
It's so
I'm not
funny.
big on quitting. I would quit.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't like watching it.
Anyway, we got another guy voicemail after
I hope
the
this
fact.
is in hindsight. Thank God. This is going to be great.
Well, that prediction and voicemail was quite a waste. But the way we got to look at it, and I'm sure you covered it, we just need to take the next game and then the next one on Sunday.
Yep.
I know Jake felt like we were going to win all three, but, it's baseball. We just need to take the series. And tomorrow's a new day. Schlitt will be back. Yarbrough keeps looking the way he's looking. The roles could flip at some point. But we want them both to do good. So they're not going to immediately just take Cam out of a spot like that. All right. Go get them, Yankees, tomorrow. All right.
I agree with it completely. We all here in this little triangle. Jake believes in Cam Schlittler still. I believe in him still. I'm honestly not worried. It was a devastating outing. Horrible. No way around that. Toronto got the best of him. Their approach was just something he hadn't dealt with before to that extent in that type of game. And he failed the first test. I'm pretty confident he'll make an adjustment. Will it be 8 shutout next time? I'm not going to make that prediction, but I think he'll be much better. I'm not going to just now say, oh, Luis Hill, you're so much better than what I just watched. I want to see you in game 3. I don't think Luis Hill's done enough where I can just now pencil him in now as game 3. As you put it, Jake, I thought you said it pretty well. It's a tryout. We've got from now to the end of the season to make that decision. We don't have to make it today. And that wasn't the last start of Schlittler's season. It's not. So he can right this ship.
Unless he got hurt. Knock on wood there.
He shouldn't have, right?
No.
On paper.
Here's Ninja Hot Dog.
What up, Jake?
Oh,
you
boy.
said we would win today.
Ooh.
You said that we were going to dominate today. Well, we didn't dominate. The Blue Jays dominated. Let's face it, they're a better team than us. No copium is going to solve what this team physically can do to us and what this team is compared to us. The matter of the fact is that the Blue Jays are a better team than us, and they deserve to be the AL East champions. And we're going to probably lose another game, and likely we're probably going to get swept, too. That is the simple truth of the matter, and y'all need to stop calling that William guy William Downer, because guess what? We were both right. We need to be a better team next year, so this can't happen again. That's all we have to do. No more copium. Fire Baboon.
Technically, I'm still alive. I said 2 of 3. So
Well,
your boy is not dead yet. I think I said Cam Schlittler was going to win this game, but yeah, I'm not dead yet. Jake, you're dead. That prediction is just cooked
that's a
already.
shame.
Dead on arrival.
It's not as bad as I feel bad throwing him under the bus, but oh my, why am I blanking on his name? I can't remember anybody's names today. This is not good. What the Drew Thorpe. Remember Drew was like, yeah, we're going to go 10-2 in the next 12. Yep. And then I think they went 2-10.
We lost we lost like 6 in a row, 7 in a row. Yeah, Jake is the optimist. He's the optimist for sure. And he's not, if you watch enough Yankees podcasts, I promise you guys, and I'm sure a lot of you have, there are Jake, you consider him an optimist? No, you should see some of these shows, and they'll all go nameless because nobody watches them. But they'll literally come out here and be like, the Yankees are winning 104 games. The Yankees are going to sweep the Red Sox. They're going to sweep Toronto. They're going to sweep everyone's sweep. Boone is fine. There's nothing to worry about that we lost 12 in a row. They'll be perfectly fine after the break. We're going to win the deadline. It's always a win, no matter what. There's an angle towards success. Sometimes sports can get ugly.
Yeah,
and I'm the realist, or as people call me, the negative Nancy, I guess. But by the way, Jake, you've definitely brought me closer to the center. I'm still pretty negative, but I'm veering close. I wouldn't even say I'm veering.
Yeah, but
I'm
like
not moving
yin
anymore
and
that
yang.
direction. I'm here.
People would rather watch yin and yang than. Yeah, I agree too. I agree too. Oh my God, everything is beautiful and it's
You
perfect.
don't want to watch
and-
yang,
Yeah,
where they all just agree all the time on everything. It's so fun.
yeah.
Alex says, and Jake put you up on screen, says Jake feeling the effects of recording 1,000 pods in 3 days. Yeah, that's that's true.
I felt this so much I had to share it. I'm absolutely dead. I don't know if people can tell. I look at myself in the screen that we're recording right now and I look freaking exhausted. But then Gary will be like, "No, I don't see it. I actually wouldn't know." Until you told me.
Yeah. I mean, I always look exhausted because I've always got bags under my... Dude, it could be 12...
how do you get
it could
rid
be
of
12
bags
minutes.
under your eyes? Put that in the comment section because I'd
Makeup.
love to know.
Makeup, I don't know, Botox. Not sure. But
Well, looks like we're cooked. Anyway, I'm not doing all that.
is that the final voicemail, though? We got to him?
Nope, we got 2 more.
Okay, let it fly.
Hey, Jake and Gary. This was a pitiful game.
Our
I mean,
buddy
the game's
Kyle.
not even over yet, and I'm already calling. Like, I knew this game was over in the first inning. Like, they're going in at the top of the ninth, down 6-1. Do you think they're coming back? Not me. The next 2 games are must-wins. Like, they cannot get swept by the Blue Jays again. Like, what is with the Blue Jays? Like, why can't we beat them this year? It's freaking bullcrap. But hopefully they do better tomorrow and Sunday because we need to win the next 2. Like, win 2 out of 3. But I'm just so frustrated because first inning, like I said, I knew it was over, but
I felt that.
my stupid self still kept watching, thinking they would come back. But I guess that's the Yankee fan to me. But all right, well, you guys have a good show, and go Yankees if you want to show up to this Blue Jays series. Good night.
I love when he's like, "That's bull crap." I don't know why that like.
I
killed
like
me.
the mid-game voicemail because it just goes to show you how we were actually feeling. That was just in destitute. We were just
Oh my God,
left in the dust in that game. No sign of life, nothing to show for it. Thank you for the voicemail. Jake, looking at that Yankees team, I don't think they've really inspired the group, which is interesting because that's quite literally some people's job, right? Captain, manager, it's your job to be inspiring. And you wouldn't have known that was a big game at all. Based on what we were watching, you would have thought that was like everyone's going to pull their bag out the dugout and throw it over their shoulder and start walking down the line in spring training. Like it literally felt.
You had to
crowd
bring
was-
up bag.
I mean, the crowd had just nothing to cheer for. Yeah.
I think we already answered this, but it came up again, so just want to make sure Apex again.
We did.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
it came up again though, so I think Apex left another one. So
There's
anyway,
no way.
we appreciate you, Apex. Thank you for the super. All right. Now, the last but not the least, we got Chris. Our friend Chris is back at it. Our new friend Chris.
What's going on, guys? Chris again. That was a terrible game, unfortunately.
He was at the
Not
game
one
today.
that you want. Schlittler was due for a bad game, but not the right time to have a bad game, obviously, when you're facing the Blue Jays, and now you're, 4 games out? So unfortunate timing, and we just couldn't string hits. It just felt like this offense. Well, I mean, we all know this offense is kind of like homer or bust, but you see how different Toronto is compared to the Yankees when it just comes to the bats. Like, they fouled off so many pitches and they were working so many counts, and they just put the ball in play. And that's what makes them superior over this Yankees team, and that's why we can't beat them. They put the ball in play, they create situations, and they get pitchers tired. The Yankees don't really do that. Like, there's a lot of quick counts, swinging at first pitches, and it was very frustrating. Like, Gausman was able to get through 8 like pretty quickly, and obviously, you know, if we're not going to work counts, then we're not going to be able to get guys on base, and I think that was another issue that I had. But it is what it is. You got to move on, and you could still win this series if you win the next 2. It's unfortunate that this kind of has to be the narrative that we just can't beat Toronto or Boston. And it kind of feels like, I don't know if you guys are basketball guys, but the Knicks and them losing the contenders over and over and over in the regular season. Obviously, they beat Boston in the playoffs, but we're not going to know what's going to happen into the playoffs until we get there. We don't know if we're going to win a division or get to the wild card. But again, 2 games, got to win. By the way, Judge is not 100%. Don't know why he's out there. I understand it's the Blue Jays, but can't risk another injury. But on to tomorrow. See you guys soon. Bye.
Yeah. So that was a really good super. That was a really good voicemail. We appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, it's, man, just so many things, but I agree with that last part. Judge shouldn't be out there. He should have been DH today. He wasn't ready, and that's on Boone. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to be on top of this thing, and you send him out there, and he clearly wasn't ready for it. I don't know, but yeah, just overall, we move for tomorrow's game. You know, tomorrow is a new day. I know
Heel
that.
Bassett.
Yeah, it's Heel versus. Oh, it's Bassett now. They switched it. So is Scherzer going against Fried now?
I'll check for you.
Scherzer's going against
correct.
Fried. Yep.
Yep.
So originally Scherzer, so it'll be Chris Bassett, right-handed pitcher. He's a good pitcher. His numbers have fallen off, and he gives up the long ball, 22 of them. So we'll see, but Bassett versus Heel. ESPN gives the Yankees a 56.9% chance of victory. Real quick, let's look at Chris Bassett's numbers against the Yankees, because that did wonders today with Kevin Gausman.
Yeah, it didn't mean a damn thing. Nothing.
I mean, I guess it meant something because Stanton's numbers were crazy against Gausman.
Well, I think everyone's numbers pretty much were good.
Well, that's true, but I
mean, if Goldschmidt did anything, we'd been like, oh, his numbers.
Nope, not falling for the Goldschmidt bullshit again. No. He's got a 1,300 OPS. I'm not playing Goldschmidt against a righty ever again. Nope.
It's fair.
Judge, 286, 971 OPS. Grisham, 188, 943 OPS. Volpe, 235, 690 OPS.
Exactly who he is.
Bellinger, 200, 694 OPS. Jazz Chisholm, 200, 467 OPS. Ben Rice, 250, 583 OPS.
Good Lord.
Austin Wells, 273, 727 OPS. Paul Goldschmidt, 444, 1389.
Okay, so Bassett pitches well against the Yankees.
He does.
Coming into today's game, we were like, oh, we didn't tell you guys that we're going to come out here and dominate Gausman. That's actually the opposite of what we told you. We said he's really talented. He's faced us a million times. It can go one way or the other. We've seen both. Prepare for both. And we got one side of that. It just wasn't the side we wanted. Now, with Bassett, if the numbers hold true, he's going to dominate tomorrow. And this is I'm going to be in a suit. And don't forget that. You're going to see me dapper. I should get a haircut tomorrow just to bring it home. But it'll probably be 2 last seconds since it'll be a later show. Maybe I can get the haircut done. I might show up in a suit.
I might join you. I'm not sure if I will be on tomorrow's show. It depends on when I get back. I have no idea.
So we'll play it by ear. Obviously earlier game, but if Jake can't go, I'll be by myself solo in a suit.
We like that. Hopefully you're solo in a suit after a win. And I'm there. But we'll see. Jason Dominguez has in 9 at-bats, he has 6 hits. I'd actually like Jason Dominguez to play in this game.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think it makes sense. I think they do it. I don't know if they play him. They wouldn't do over Bellinger.
No,
It'd
it
probably
would
just
be
be
over
it'd be the
Grisham
stand.
probably tomorrow.
Grisham. Interesting choice.
Or you give, I don't even think you can give Judge a day because people would freak out and be like, is he injured? I mean,
it might be Stanton who just doesn't play, and then you throw him out there.
well, he's seen him 4 times and he's 2 for 4, 2 walks and a double. So
okay. So what do we want them to put? We did the next game. We got all the voices out there. Appreciate all of those, by the way, our diamond levels. So thank you guys. Appreciate the memberships.
I guess I could leave a voicemail. You're right on that.
What do you mean?
Josh said leave a voicemail if you can't make it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. That actually would be great. And, of course, I've got to be able to figure out how to use the damn thing. Probably won't, but we'll see. Anywho, Jake, what do we want him to drop in the comments?
All right.
To prove they were here.
To prove you were
end.
here, drop in the comments. How about this? Very simply put, will you be at the game tomorrow? And if you will, well, yeah, just put if you will be at the game tomorrow. And if you won't be at the game tomorrow, how about this? If you're at the game tomorrow, put I'm going to the game or going to the game or whatever. If you're not going to the game, put the word blender just because I feel like it.
Okay. So blender in the comment section because I assume most of you aren't going to the game. But we appreciate all. Yeah, Jake is fried.
I'm dead. I'm so gone. And then I have to get up.
His weakest yet, but
in
we
5
appreciate
hours.
it, Jake. Hell of a job there. Drop blender in the comment section, and if you're going to the game, let us know. If you haven't subscribed to Yankees Unloaded yet, please be sure to do that. Hit the bell to be notified. Otherwise, YouTube will act like you didn't subscribe to begin with. But make sure before you guys go, of course, the most important thing you could ever do, like this video.
Like it.